Hello, 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 and welcome back to Herbie Bullows. It's been a couple days since I played this. It's true, I will admit to that. I'm not going to be as practiced as I was before. Also, I'm about to go to work in about, let's say, 200 minutes. That seems like a good guess. It's not, it's actually much less than that. It's probably like 80 minutes. So I'm not gonna have like a ton of time to devote for this, but I really wanted to get a run in. I've been thinking about this game when I'm not playing it, which is a good sign. This did not happen with Cave Blazers, which is the last game that I tested out. So hopefully that sign is one of growing attachment to the mechanics. Fucking shit. Well, this is not going to be the run that accomplishes anything besides me getting murdered quickly. But it's a good first run because it's reminding me in no uncertain terms how much I suck at this game. Oh, okay. Questions over quick. Let's just keep going. That was a sad start. I do remember that the thing that got me farthest was being cautious, which is frustrating because this feels like a game that encourages speed. It's got a ticking clock element. Well, not a ticking clock. It's got a fuck, I saw that. I saw that snake a second too late. No, it's got the element of oh, cool. You can use multiple mines all this time. Learn something new every day. I was picking them up one at a time. That hurt me. Okay. So mines are only useful if you have enough time to make proper use of them. I have no pink cards. I wonder if I can pick these back up. No! You can't. Mines are also suicide pills if you are not smart. You don't have mine immunity. This kind of makes them pretty much worthless. I guess probably if I approached it more slowly and clicked it from the farthest point, but what I actually did was drop another mine on top of it out of pure panic. 4 equals money. If I get to a shop, which is a bank. I don't know why this game is so simple and straightforward, but it has a lot of elements that I like. It's got the randomness quality, which I guess is just a requirement for me. It's got the a cool kind of outrun aesthetic, which is, I don't know what carry plus is. It's not 2 items, because that's what the backpack is. But it's got speed. I'm guessing it has secret health up. And it has a learning curve, which is based on the 2 elements that matter most: your performance and your awareness. As opposed to just plowing your way through. See, a big part of the reason I hate or I have hated a lot of like AAA games is because of what's the name of the Nathan Drake game? Uncharted. I loved Uncharted 1 and 2. I really did. It took me a while to realize, though, that I loved it the same way people love action movies, or well-written action movies, and not the way that I love games. It does not, at any point, feel like a game. Every time I had trouble in Uncharted, I just continued to do the same exact fight sequence over and over until I somehow got through it. Oof. No variance. I learned where every enemy was going to spawn and how they were going to behave. And then, eventually, I just basically recorded myself. It's like that movie Live Die Repeat. I think it's why that movie, or Edge of Tomorrow as it was originally called, why that movie resonated so well with like gamers and stuff. Oh fuck. They're used to just like bashing their head against a problem until it's solved just through repetition. Like, there is some of that in a game like this. Because, as you can see, I'm doing similar things and getting, having slightly different experiences each time. But that's the thing, I'm having slightly different experiences. Fucking, if I was playing Uncharted right now, I would come to this room, run into these enemies, know exactly where they were going to spawn, turn the corner, shoot all of them, and then go. If I got killed, if I got hit enough to die, I would just reload 1 foot outside of the room and do a similar thing. There's no element of pure surprise. There's no element of variety in a game like that. And variety is a big deal for me. Variety within constraints, I guess, is a big deal for me. So that you can learn and get better while also having slightly new experiences. I'm gonna try something. Okay. You can pick up the vines as long as you don't drop them on yourself. Or you don't drop a mine on a mine. The snake right there. Sounds like another charger. Another imp. Snakeworms, imps, turrets. I'm trying to remember their actual names so I don't just call them by what they feel like. And I know there are people out there who would play this game and just kind of floor it. They would just have it done in like 20 minutes of practice. That's great for them, and I'm sure that every first-person shooter is pretty boring for somebody that has those skills. But I don't know. I mean, my games are roguelikes. I like variety within a system. In games like Uncharted and The Last of Us, which I will straight up say, The Last of Us has one of the most amazing stories I've ever experienced in a video game. and I'm not faulting it for its contributions in interactive cinematic storytelling. However, there are only a few moments of those where there's where it feels like the story is developing naturalistically and I'm playing the game. And I'm not talking about playing it like standing next to Ellie when she tells me about, you know, not knowing how to play the guitar or whatever. I'm talking about I'm doing something, she's saying something that's related to what I'm doing, and we're both learning about one another as characters. Oh, fuck. It hasn't happened in many games where I feel like I'm learning a lot about the story through the gameplay. Especially not cinematic storytelling games. Because then the cinematic aspect and the game aspect are on different ends of a spectrum. There's games like Brothers, I think it's called Brothers Two Sons, where the gameplay, the way that the characters are tied to one controller is indicative of the story. And, you know, that game's been out for a while, so I don't feel like beholden to keeping spoilers. But when you lose one, you feel just how incomplete it is to hold a full controller and only be controlling one of the two brothers. That's storytelling that's tied to gameplay. Last of Us, I could watch all those cutscenes and have, you know, some minutes of them wandering around and crafting shit and somehow leveling up and have a very similar experience. I don't need a game for that, which is just sad. That sounded like a Trump tweet. It just I don't know, it misses the main point of this being a game. Hotline Miami has all of its story told in cutscenes, but the gameplay is this intensely visceral, brutal, one-hit you're dead experience. The colors, the music, the way that the simplicity of its presentation, all of that ties in to this mind-bending story of violence and control. You get less of that in The Last of Us. Story takes one part of the game, and gameplay takes the other. I don't know. I haven't played all the way through Hotline Miami, so maybe that's not a good example. But I'm looking for some. Brothers, I think, is a good example. Enter the Gungeon, the story is just nonsense, so I'm not going to say that. Binding of Isaac, you're going deeper, you're going crazier, but the gameplay doesn't have anything to do with that. I guess I'm not trying to say that all indie games do it better. I'm saying that I want story and gameplay to have a better relationship than they do a lot of the time if story is going to be important. I think a lot of the reason I like indie games is because they are, especially roguelikes, is they tell a quick and simple story and then they just get on with the gameplay. They don't, oh fuck, this room's gonna be shit. They don't feel the need to heavy-hand a story where it doesn't fit, or where it doesn't fit well. Wow. Well, this is ending quickly. Does this guy have anything health-related? maybe that got us through this little segment. To some degree. Okay, oh fuck. There's one more. No! I was doing alright. Alright. We'll keep going. It seems like there's like 4 primary ways. Let's say 4. I think there might be more, but there's 4 primary ways that that games tell stories. One is through cutscenes. That's the farthest from interactive storytelling. There's a lot of games out there that are essentially just leading up to cutscenes. Like RPGs do it a lot. I'm getting kind of sick of this aspect of Xenoblade Chronicles. I walk down the corridor, I fight 12 enemies, apply my level, or my, levels up and all of that. And then I go into a cutscene that's telling me, ooh boy, how this character that I've known all along has been holding a secret that fundamentally changes our situation. They've been just holding back this information. I can't learn this information by exploring on my own. I can only be told it in these canned cutscenes. Which is kind of frustrating to me. I don't know, it's the most distance from gameplay to story. The next one is dialogue boxes, where you stop what you're doing, talk to a character, and they say, hey, this is my situation in my place in the world. I want you to get some feeling of how the world is structured by talking to me. Which is cool. You're choosing to talk to them, you can miss that information. The next kind, third, is rolling dialogue. Either by having a second character standing near the first and at certain moments speaking their mind. That happens a lot in Uncharted and Last of Us, which is why they usually have 2 characters together, because it just sounds like Nathan Drake is going insane if he's by himself and trying to describe the world and his place in it. Fucking snake worms. Oh, there's also audio boxes, which is the BioShock way of having backstory be taken care of. And those are... Oh, fucking shit. Alright. Those are collectible items that you pick up and then choose to activate a pre-recorded message of someone going through a thing. I picked up BioShock Infinite because it was on a Humble Bundle and started doing it, and I was kind of like, this is cool that I get all this backstory when it doesn't have to be present at all. And it's not fully pulling me out of the game. I can still move forward while it happens. But it seems like such a stopgap, you know? It seems like a way of just making it so it doesn't automatically happen. But it doesn't seem like... No. I wanted to deposit. It doesn't seem like a way of, actually... It's storage? Okay, that's really cool. I didn't realize storage was an option on there. Yeah, it's... I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. These seems like all of the ways that you can have exposition in a game. But exposition can't be it. If you want a game that's just storytelling, a lot of times you get, like, what they call walking simulators. Fucking snake worm. Where the Chinese room just has you walking from place to place and artificially spawning the next dialogue tree. Characters that are not even aware of your presence most of the time. Discussing the goings-on of the world. And things changing just in slight graphical ways, but there not being any gameplay at all. And that's fine. I'm actually okay if you know you're getting into that being the game you play. But man, why do they make you walk so slowly? Like, that's the frustration. I guess because they have to pace up the dialogue, and if you can just sprint through it. I don't know. Everybody's Guide to the Rapture was a fine game, a fine story, but I just kept wanting to be like, let's fucking go. This is on rails. Like, let's stop acting like we're playing a game here. Just get to the story and get on. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Let's not, freaking kid ourselves. Oh, those guys can kill other guys, huh? Oh, God. Well, turrets done did me in again. It seems like I'm not dying to snake worms as frequently. But I am dying to turrets just as often. Gameplay-based storytelling is really hard. And it usually involves a gimmick. I get that. At least they try it in Gungeon. They try to... I forgot that I was still alive. I thought that was game over. Why the fuck is it blinking? Okay, so I can at least, hopefully, donate this money before I die. Or deposit. And then we can just die and call it a day. But Gungeon has like the shifting walls. It has there are people that tell you that like this is a random place, a place of madness, you know, created by Caliber, the one true gun. All of that. It's dumb lore, but it's fun, and it kind of ties into what's happening, like why you're getting a different experience every time. It's at least trying to make the structure of the world tell the story. And the fact that everything is gunplay related. Fuck! Actually fits into that. However, it doesn't... you know, I still have to stop and talk to this guy over here, or that guy over there, or whatever. The main concern with just having gameplay tell the story is it being confusing as fuck. If a game is just figured out through playing it, most of the time people will just have no idea what the hell the story is. You need exposition to clarify. But it's led to interesting, like, speculative discussions about what's actually going on in Gungeon. There was some of that in Isaac too. But Isaac, the randomness of it is just It doesn't make any fucking sense. Hey, a key card. The fact that it's different every time doesn't mean anything. It just happens. I haven't played Dwarf Fortress, but I'm sure there's a reason in that game as to why things are so different and unique with each playthrough. Since it seems to be the rogue that everybody raves about. Yeah, I don't know. Gameplay and world construction tying into the story is really important to me. Is this one homing bomb? It's not worth it for one homing bomb, so we'll get 2 extra bullets and then go from there. Even this game has little cutscene at the start of each run that kind of says like, hey, you gotta send these guys down to this later point, and then oh boy, they'll figure out what's happening with all these guns. Maybe they'll buy some bullets. So this one's, it seems like it's giving you the opportunity to break the story down. Damn, I wanted to get 40 before I went past the next doorway. Come over here. Let's do it. We can still get back. Throw glove? What the fuck is that? Oh, I can now throw my bombs probably. Not like a goddamn idiot. Yeah, there's also the fear of making a game like this where it's just empty silence and then the story fills in like in the cracks. Which can be frustrating for people that really want to know what's going on. Or those people can shut the fuck up and just wait. A good story, or even an interesting story, isn't necessarily one that has to slap you over the face. I'm still excited to figure out more about what's going on in this game. I really think it has legs. Like, I don't know. Part of what brought this up is I was watching a video about Metal Gear Solid, and I was just remembering the codec dialogue sections. I remember I got Metal Gear Solid 4 early on when I had a PlayStation 3. And there were... You could, like, move the camera around a little bit during the codecs, which was a big deal for the series, because before it was just flat images. But I remember just sitting in a discussion, or in a, nope, that still sucks. A little bit better. Alright, got 2 bullets left. Shot a lot to take out that turret. There we go. Survived a room with 2 turrets. That's quite the accomplishment for me. Now I need to find all my fucking bullets. There we go. But man, you would just sit and watch 2 people talk for 30 or 40 fucking goddamn exploding parts. You have to move first and then aim afterwards. That's what I need to remember about turrets. It's kind of the opposite of those imps. They give you time to aim. They take a second to register their awareness of you. I don't think that that's good. I'm sure it could be interesting in the right run. You run out of bullets, you have a way to attack. But, it seems like in that case you get to a situation you don't want to be in. And then you have a way out of it. It's best to try to not get to that situation at all. Yeah, but I wish that, like, I wish there was some balance. Damn. Of gameplay and storytelling, and it wasn't a disconnected, kind of broken experience, or sometimes you got too much of one and not enough of the other. I don't know how to do it. I'm not a fucking game designer, and I don't ever want to be. I will take these. No, I would like, actually, stories I'd like to tell. Oh, I'm poisoned, right? No. We're gonna deposit some stuff because we're at a spot where we want to have something to show at the end of this one. I do like systems in roguelites. Oh, fuck. Like this one. Those don't heal at all. Okay. So they're not great. They do explode. The hell is this? Running shoes? Okay, so now I'm a little faster. I can maybe run away from enemies a little faster. I'm about to make it to the 3rd floor for the first time in this video, which I'm very happy about that. But I'm not doing great on health, and I already ate my backup red potion. Titan Souls. That's a game that I think did its storytelling really well. That balanced gameplay and storytelling well. I don't think there's any dialogue. So the storytelling is all... It's 100% based on gameplay. You have to figure it out. Like, why am I fighting these giant bosses? Why do I only have an arrow as my only weapon? Why does everything die so easily? Like, what made my arrow so strong? You have to figure that out for yourself, and you do that by reading the world, by environmental cues, and by, oh, my alarm. And by playing the game. Like, you don't get it just because you want it. You get it. Huh. By seeking it out. By looking at what you're given. Oh, fuck. Okay. And turning that into knowledge. I still don't know everything that happened in that game. That's kind of interesting. I didn't need to play a game where I was just told, hey, this is the crazy world we live in. Isn't it crazy? I do have the problem with Titan Souls being a little too Uncharted-esque in its replayability or lack thereof. God, these shoes are way too fast. I'm actually more likely to step on a snake, I feel, when I'm running this fast. It does seem, though, that I've recovered from a number of times where I would have been shot by a turret. Just had more movement. I have to be holding on to this? Whatever. Better than a knife. Those shoes are actually maybe detrimental. Maybe potentially detrimental, if not actually. A lot more imps now. I just don't want to have any money on me when I die. That, to me, feels like a waste. I don't know what the fuck that is, or was. But it scared the ever-loving shit out of me. Ew, ever-loving shit. What is it? It's some sort of bat. No! I think this coin magnet might be fucking MVP this game right now. $40. 40, 40, 40. We need 11 more. 3? Why am I not getting money? Oh, fuck. Okay. Snake. I heard the snake that time. Silver Life. That's... Silver Life is armor, right? The soul heart. 40. Hit 40. Let's get it, and then... Fuck you, man. You made me waste part of my money. Alright, this is getting tense for me. 3rd floor. Not dead yet. That is so disorienting somehow. And there's the exit. Alright, let's not die to this turret. I don't have... I gotta get a direction that shows its box. There we go. The fact that the turrets are both fucking snipers and that they protect their health makes them the toughest enemy in the game so far. I bet this boss, if this is gonna be a boss, is just gonna be a giant turret. Alright, level 4. Gulp. Oh, cool. Oh my god! Ugh. Well, that was a good run, and we're gonna end it on that. All right, thanks for watching.